Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the other side with Diane and Abby. And you may hear our dogs in the back because they aren't happy that we're on tonight. That's their problem. So, as you know, we always start out with I tell you what the weather is here. We're having a lot of snow tonight. It's cold. The temperature here in good old PA is 18 degrees. We are under a winter weather advisory. Let me see. The winter weather advisory says it's in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow. Additional snow accumulations between 1 and 3 inches, and winds gusting at 45 miles per hour, which makes very bad or poor visibility. So anybody that's traveling tonight that may be tuning into this channel, please be careful because it's going to be slick out there. The hubby's a little bit worried what it's going to be like for him in the morning. Of course, Chase has to travel in the morning. So let's hope that it doesn't get too bad. But with these frigid temperatures, it does put that layer of ice down there below. So it kind of makes it difficult for anybody that may be getting up early and traveling in the morning. So, Abby, do you want to start this week and tell what our plans are, and we can go on that, how we're going to set this one up?
What do you mean?
Wonder where Linda's at.
I don't know.
I'll have to see where Linda's
she's
at. Just kind of go into how we're going to be doing it tonight.
So we decided that we wanted to involve our community a little bit more. So for the first 30 minutes of our video, we're going to have just, if you guys want to vent, if you want to tell us something that is important to you today, which we'll also do the same. But just, hi, Linda.
There you go. I just texted you, Linda. I wasn't sure. You're okay. You don't need to apologize. We know you're our stalker and you're faithful to us.
So the first 30 minutes will be just kind of telling us how you are, telling us if you have anything important that's happening in your life. If you're a paranormal investigator, then if you have anything coming up or anything like that. Just kind of a safe space for the first 30 minutes of our our stream. And then the last 30 minutes of our stream will be our poetry, which you can also at that time share your work as well. So
I'm going to try to work on either by our next show or the show after. I'm going to try to rustle up a couple paranormal type poems. For those of you who's still waiting for me on this channel here to do my next one, I think right after this show, I'm going to take an hour break, and then of course, my next one's going to be a pre-recorded video, but Kiwi knows it's going to be called Good Demons. Kind of doesn't make sense, but it does make sense. So you're going to have to tune in to find out what that's all about. A lot of explaining to do of why I titled it Good Demons. And you'll go, You kind of will like the demon in a way, but then you'll be kind of like, oh, that's kind of creepy. So if your curiosity is piqued, well, wait and see. You'll find out. Well, I want to make a big call out and shout out to Angelina. Watched her show last night. A very, very powerful and emotional one. So everybody go on and show your love and support for Angelina. She finally released what she needed to release. So let's all give her a bunch of love and support sent her way. She caught up on a lot of stuff, and a lot of things was said that needed to be said. So we need to stop the ugliness on the paranormal channels, guys. There was some with our group. We got it straightened up, thank goodness. We only had maybe 1 or 2 incidents, and they weren't like major, but kind of mild incident, like body shaming and stuff like that on our channel. Got it straightened up. Our moderators, especially you, Kiwi/Linda, you're amazing. Stepped in right away, got it taken care of. The ugliness is not going to get anybody anywhere. It's like I've said, and I'll say it over and over and over again. I'll be redundant. mind your own business. Worry about the skeletons in your closet. Don't worry about airing dirt on everybody else because it's not what goes around comes around. It's going to come back. It's going to nip you in the butt. So it's not going to get you anywhere.
Mhm.
So what was that?
It was your
Boom.
Facebook notification.
Oh, okay. I was something like here. Boom. Yeah, and she comes on all the time with some kind of a sexual fact. The notification that I just got. Like,
Oh. Oh,
okay,
okay.
like tis whatever you want.
Nice.
So, Miss Kiwi slash Linda, is there anything that you want to start out with and talk about, ask questions? It could be referring to some of the poetry you heard of that we did in the past, poetry that you'd like us maybe to write, whatever.
Or just anything that's going on in your life that you want to talk about.
Yep, absolutely. She posted a picture of her hubby on there today, and she's like, "That sexy hunk. Look at him, you know." That's what she was doing. I caught it. I saw it. Eric, if you want to jump in and say anything in that, go ahead. Like, we're just going to kind of just BS here for a little bit. We run out of not knowing what to say. We'll just go straight into it. But we're gonna try every Thursday from now on to strictly stay within that hour. Because we just don't want it to get too dull, and we try to keep it exciting and that, but just if it gets too long and drawn out, people say, "Okay, I've had enough," and click. I'm hurting, injured my back, so my oh no, what did you do? Did you fall?
Ouchie.
Don't get addicted to those painkillers, Kiwi. Well, I don't want to be talking to a dope head. Well, I'm glad you're loving our poetry. That's good. That's what we were kind of discussing it the other day. If we thought, hey, do you think people are going to really like this and continue to tune in, or are they saying, that's boring?
I think it's just one of those things that's not for everyone, but when you start like continuously doing it, you're going to get to the point where you get those people that are actually interested in it and start.
Well, both Abby and I like doing poetry. We both like writing. So we know that there's a bunch of people out there that share the same common interest. And we wanted to show what we're like outside of investigating in the paranormal. So until this channel gets a little bit more popular and more people are aware of it, we're going to have not very many comments and stuff. But still, in the meantime, we do want to keep it in that hour range. So, and then Abby can have her honey. Well, he's crashed right now because he has work in the morning. I worry about all the hubbies in the morning because it's bad. It's snowing really bad out there, and it is cold yet.
He asked me what I thought, like, to check what the weather was, and I completely forgot to do it. And I don't know if he's gonna go to work tomorrow if he can't get past that one hill.
Yeah, and that's my concern because with it being this cold, you're not only getting the snow and the blowing, you're getting that layer of ice, and you can deal with snow. I mean, you're going to slide in that, but you can get some traction in the snow. But that ice, I don't care how good of a driver you are, that ice is not good.
That's the thing too. I was just talking to Nancy not too long ago about how, people live in Pennsylvania, but they don't know what the weather, that the weather's bad, or they don't drive like they know that the weather's going to be bad, and they act like it's like the end of the world or whatever. When you live in Pennsylvania, you're going to have to expect that there's going to be snow, and it could be just random times of the day. It doesn't matter. But we live on hills, hills, mountains.
Yeah, we're considered in the mountainous area.
So we get a lot of difficulties going up and down these mountains, but most of it's up for us.
Well, with us being north too, the further north you go, the shittier the weather gets. So, Linda goes, and it's enjoyable, but do you write poetry about your investigations? I haven't yet. That's what I'm planning on doing, either about the investigations or something haunted or paranormal in general. In specific, I could probably too, if I one of our investigations in specific, I probably could. Abby probably could. But that's what I'm going to throw around. Maybe by the time we get our next poetry hour comes on, maybe we both can rustle up something. Abby seems to be able to rustle up things quicker than me. I take my time and I'll start something like I have one already started about Max, but every time I reread it, they're like, no, I'm going to change that. So I've changed it about 5 times already because I like mine to be a specific way, and I like to think about it and change it and a lot before I.
Well, to be honest, with my poetry, especially the three that I'm going to be reading tonight, I had severe writer's block today, and I had my friend actually send me recommendations because I asked her. I said, "Hey, I need your help. I don't know what to write about tonight," and she sent me these 3 pictures, and so I wrote off those. So
And see, she up to write all three of them in one day. Me, I could probably do it, but I do get writer's block. Right now, I think my writer's block is because I'm still thinking about all the parts that I want to put in the book. And then I'm trying to thinking what kind of poetry I want to write about the two dogs and Pee Wee. And then now adding the paranormal into it. So it's kind of like, okay.
was hoping to convince hubby to move to PA. Just tell him that he'll get every one of the seasons. You get all the seasons. You get the fall, you get the winter, you get the summer, you get the spring. That's why I like Pennsylvania so much. It's
Pennsylvania, especially, I'm going to tell you, and it's not because we live here, but I mean, we went to South Carolina for a while. South Carolina's a beautiful state. It's warm. It's just not home. Pennsylvania, I do have to tell you, if you would consider that, when it comes fall, you are going to see the most breathtaking, amazing foliage that you've ever seen in your entire life. The colors are so brilliant when they start changing that literally the people stop and take pictures constantly. I mean, because Pennsylvania is known for the greatest foliage.
Yeah, it literally looks like somebody got paint cans and they poured it onto the leaves
because
it's just all these beautiful red and orange.
And then if you get like an overlook over where the mountains are, oh my goodness, there's nothing more breathtaking. And that's the same as when we first moved up. It was spring had just ended and everything had already blossomed and everything was green because we got up here, we moved up in June. And I'll tell you, the lush green, brilliant color that you saw it just,
yeah.
you can't say enough about it. I mean, I thought South Carolina's greenery and everything and that because of it being south and warm was beautiful, but the lushness of the green and the brilliance of the color, it's just amazing to see that. Like we really truly miss
Well, the
that.
thing is too, summer here, it's not like South summer. It's not like extremely hot to the point where you're roasting and you're never going to cool off. It's more like what would you say, like a cooler summer? Like it still gets hot, but it's not nearly as bad as
I
it would
think
be.
where she's going with that, and you can say no, mom. That's not what I mean. If you're down south in that, your summer usually is consistent and it's all hot and it's all like you know what to expect. You wake up in the morning, you know, okay, this is going to be another sweater. You're gonna be dying of heat. Up here, it's usually not consistent. So you'll have maybe one week of pretty warm temperatures. The next week, it's just like, oh, this is the life. And then you might have, just real comfortable. Now, last year, believe it or not, last year was the exception. I was reading our first year back up here, and we had the hottest summer for 3 months straight. It was record breaking.
I know. Aaron said we brought the heat up with us.
Yeah, and they're like, damn, that's what we was trying to get away of. But at least down in South Carolina, we had to have a swimming pool because it got so hot. that you either stayed in the house in front of your air conditioning or you went outside in the pool. There was like no comfort zone there. Or up here, you may have half of your summer could be just like in the mid 70s and just gorgeous.
Yeah, your summer could feel like a spring.
Yep. And the only problem is because of fall coming in and winter, then those temperatures, like, they're all over the place. But you do have the summers usually, as a rule, are pretty nice there. So, um, yeah, I agree with you, Eric. I don't know what spring's going to bring because with what we're getting now, I'm thinking that when it does come, it's going to come and going to go into full bloom real quick. And I just hope spring at least stretches out, that it doesn't go
Yeah, I
straight
think we're
into
gonna have a bit of
summer.
longer spring this
Yeah.
year. I'm hoping anyways
Yeah.
we have a longer spring. Do you need air conditioning normally?
Up here or down south? Up here last year, we did need it, which we was kind of surprised because Pennsylvania normally doesn't get that hot that consistently. It usually like you'll get hot, then it'll be comfortable, and then you'll get hot, or it'll get chilly. Like it's not consistent. We're down in South Carolina. You needed your air conditioning on
Yeah,
all
that
the
thing
time.
ran.
Yeah.
We actually had a time where it broke or did it just
Well,
malfunction?
it wasn't working right and it was starting to cost too much having it on. So we just was running fans more than air conditioners. So you're sitting there with the fan blown right in your face.
But just the other thing with prices, you if you compare your heat and your electric bill to your heat and electric bill, and I mean your electric especially in the South, you're saving money by being up here than you are in the South because you're using the air conditioner continuously. That's using up your electric and everything. Well, here you only really have to worry about your gas when your heat is going, or you use a or if you use heaters, then of course you're electric, but it's not nearly as much as it would be if you were living in the South.
Yeah, we noticed even like there's a lot of things we got. The biggest problem we had down there, and it still bothers us, is we bought our house down there and they were putting in a new sewage line. It was public sewage line. And you had like no choice because it was public. You had to get it in. But they went around and some guy was knocking at doors and he said he was a lawyer and they wanted to buy a piece of the land so that they could put the sewage through. And where they're like, we really don't want to sell our land because we had a half of an acre, which wasn't a lot, but it was more than enough for us. And he kind of more or less, he says, well, let's put it this way. Either you're going to let us buy that piece of land or we're going to claim eminent domain and take it anyhow. So you have no choice. So they bought that section of land from us, bought, and I'm doing a bought. They paid us, I think, 900 and some dollars to put that line in. And they said they would fix up the property back to what it was before, and they didn't.
Yeah, they were
And
destroying our yard.
they come right up to where our back door was almost right. They kind of put a big hole by where our swimming pool was, and the ground was actually caving in because of it, and just destroyed our land. And then they gave us the check, of course, where they're like, okay, we didn't want to sell land, but at least we got money. But they were sly because we noticed from the time that they paid us for our land, our water bill went up high for a whole year. And then after the year was up, it went back down to normal. And I added up what the difference was. And the difference, what our water bill was over those months, was the exact amount that they paid us on that check. So in actuality, they took the land without paying us anyhow. So they were pretty freaking slick about it. And I don't like that they could get away legally with doing something like that.
With an earbud wrapped around my hair.
But that's how they are. I mean, is the state nice? That's the reason why we moved down there. The state's beautiful. However, they throw their trash everywhere down there. They're not like Pennsylvania is keep your highway clean. If you get caught throwing trash, you could go to jail and lose your license. You can face some serious shit. Down there, Tom was driving back one day from work and he said somebody was in a big truck and he was eating McDonald's or something. He just got the bag and whipped it out and it went right on his windshield. I mean, because they just throw their trash right out the window.
Yeah, I mean, they had school people like ROTC and stuff go and clean up the roads for like their service or whatever that they were doing for the school, but all those kids are not enough to clean up all the roads of South
They even did
Carolina.
inmates too. They had
Mhm.
inmates going out there, but as quickly as they clean it up, anyhow, people retrash it. They should have those hefty fines and stuff and that. But of course, down there though too, you don't have to have car inspections. Half the vehicles down there, they was like a piece of metal on. It was like you made a homemade go kart down there, and you could drive that legally, probably in the middle of the road, and call it your vehicle, and they wouldn't care.
South Carolina takes the beauty of their state for granted, I think, so they don't think about bits of trash along the road or on the ground. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. It's a beautiful state, and you think you take pride of your state, but they don't. Is PA cleaner? Oh yeah, they take pride. Like you go down the highways, you might see a little bit of trash every now and then, but it usually gets cleaned up really quickly. And if you're caught throwing trash out a window like they did down in South Carolina, if you're caught, like I said, you could either lose your license or pay a very hefty fine. They even can give you jail
Yeah,
time.
actually, I have a story about that since we're kind of just not mimicking, blabbing until the 30-minute mark. We were in school and we were on the school bus heading home, and this kid kept throwing erasers and pencils and stuff out the window. And the bus actually got pulled over by a police officer, and we were sitting there for a whole, I would say, probably 20 or 30 minutes straight, which was the day we were late coming home. And it's because that person threw the stuff out the thing. They actually made the kid go and pick it up because it was on the side of the street. They really care about making sure that the PA is clean.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's going to be certain areas of Pennsylvania, I'm sure that you're going to go to and you're going to see trash. But like on the highways and main town streets, like there's a street right in front of our house. They literally go out like every other day with a big sweeper and they sweep off the roads when there's nothing really to be sweeping off, but they go up and down. If you see my living room, the dust gets so thick in there, it's like we're breathing that shit in. Like, I mean, I can understand wanting to keep the roads clean, but God, we're like right by that road. So
Yeah, they sweep air.
yeah, they do. They go by, they'll literally sweep nothing. I mean, it's good, yes, but it's bad too, because when you think about us sitting there and breathing in all that dust that's coming from the road, like you're there, well, you could tell. I can dust every day and there's still like dust on everything.
hmm
So
Which I
it's
mean, you see all around Pennsylvania. You see that make keep Pennsylvania beautiful, and if the fining amount that they usually have below it, and people follow it for the most part, unless you're like in more of a sketchy part of
I think they said
it.
I think some of the sign says up to $50,000 fine and possible jail time. I think is what it says.
The last time we spoke to a cop, they said that it's based on what the amount is that gets thrown out a window. If it's like a cup or whatever, then you get a smaller fine than if it's like a bag or um, other stuff that's bigger. Then you, of course, you get more fine. But it also goes off of like a penalty system. So if you do it more than once, obviously you're going to get jail time for you not following the
And
rules.
people, anybody watching that's just scanning through channels, would you stop tying your animals along the side of the road or putting kittens and puppies in bags and throwing them along the side of the road? There's places that you can take them. You can go on free sites like Facebook. You can put a Facebook post, hey, we find this, we have these puppies, we can't take care of them. Can anybody take them off of our hand, or somebody can take them to a shelter, do some, don't freaking throw them and put them in a bag and throw them out of the freaking window, or just put them alongside the road. That's
I mean, there
getting
was a really cute story though. They were on like this really busy bridge. I think it was like one of the biggest bridges in the world or whatever. I mean, in the United States, and there was a dog that was on like the bottom part of the bridge, not where the cars are, but like below it, just hiding there and shaking and everything. Well, they ended up rescuing him, and they knew it was a previous dog's owner's dog because as soon as it got rescued, it was so lovey and let them pet it and everything. But the moral of the story is they actually ended up finding a home for it. This little girl and her mother took it in, and I guess it's super healthy and everything
well,
now.
that is
So
the. I mean, there is no good part of people throwing their animals out, but in most cases, if people are aware of what's happening, somebody will step in and do something. So that's good. But the whole point is, if you don't want your animals, or you just get tired of having them as a pet, advertise for them to go to a really good home and monitor who you're giving the animal to, or take them to a shelter, a non-killing shelter. Do something. Just don't. I mean, tying them alongside the road up by a tree, or putting them in puppies or kittens, putting them in bags and throwing them out, and people drive by and they see this bag moving, and lo and behold, and there's a litter of pups or kittens. It's getting that. That's just. I think somebody needs to do that to you. Put you in a bag, drive along the road, throw you over, and but hog tie you first so you can't get out.
mhm. I
Come
know I have
on.
nightmares about Leo.
Yeah.
I still I'm it breaks my heart to know that he was really mistreated before me and Chase got him. I
We
mean,
don't think, I don't, when we got King, he was afraid of certain looking men that, like our mailman. Our mailman looked like Cliff Clavin from Cheers, by the way, the one from Winber. Um, he did not like him
I had to go blow my
whatsoever,
nose.
and he did not like, there's certain men that he did not like. So we think when she gave him up, when we picked him up, that the male in the house, not necessarily saying that he abused him, but we think that maybe he tossed him down in the basement, or he did something, because he was kind, oh, except for Tom. Animals take to Tom because I think they can sense that he loves animals. So, but it's don't do that. Just don't do that. Animals, they can't defend themselves other than if they bite. And then if they bite for some reason, people think, oh, they bit somebody, we're going to put them down. No, don't put a dog down, or an animal down just because you got bit, because there's probably circumstances that caused them to bite. So I just, it's insane that people don't have any love, respect for. You could see all the back here on there in the chair. Yeah, just you know, don't do that. These animals deserve better than that. They don't deserve.
Would you do that for kids?
Where's the other?
Where's the other thing?
There it is.
Oh,
Yeah, no, and that's just it. You wouldn't do. Well, I don't know. Some people do that to their kids
yeah.
too.
Some people are very terrible. To
You
their
heard about the
kids.
one just recently, right? I think it was in Johnstown.
About the baby and
somebody gave birth to a newborn
Yeah.
baby. The baby still had the umbilical cord attached to it, and they put it in a dumpster. Like, why?
Well, Johnstown is getting terrible.
Hospitals and police stations will, if you walk in and say, hey, I just had a baby, I can't take care of it, they will let you, either place will take that baby, no questions asked, just so that baby's going to be
fire
safe.
departments, they actually have what is it called? It's like a little, like, you know how when you go to a library and you put a book in the thing, they have a drop-off box for babies. If people don't want their baby or whatever, they put it in there, and there's an alarm thingy that goes off, and the firefighters will take it and take it to
That's what I'm saying. There's
place.
people can do that, I mean, don't. Thank goodness, I do have to say the baby that was born that they found is alive. And it's okay.
It was adorable.
Yeah, they said it must have just been newly born because it wasn't cleaned or anything yet. Still had the umbilical cord. So thank goodness that one ended up, not a bad where, the baby passed. So, but just come on, people. I can understand. You get pregnant and you weren't ready for a pregnancy and this and that, and you chose not to have an abortion, which we won't get in that because that stirs up a bunch of that goes kind of political wise, and I'm not going into it. But there's options that you can do, and one of them is, hey, I'm scared. I had a baby. I can't take care of it. Hospital, police station, fire department, somebody like that. If you know a neighbor that has a big family, take them and drop them off the neighbor. They'll probably take them in temporarily until they can turn them over to the authorities and find a good home or adoption agency.
I mean, there's some stories where these people, they didn't want a baby or whatever, and they put it on the neighbor's porch and knocked on the door, and the neighbor already had 2 kids, and they took that kid in too, and that kid ended up having the best life. It just went recently up to college, I believe. So
okay, we are at our half-hour mark. Abby, do you want to start today with yours?
I can. You hear too many negative results on the news. Yeah.
You do. And it's a little bit, it's frustrating. It just, you don't need that kind of sadness and gloom in the world. There's enough going on as it is. We don't need that kind of shit going on.
Yeah, I try to avoid the news, but I have this thing on my phone. It's called News Break, and a lot of times it pops up, and unfortunately, it's a lot of bad news, especially especially because it's local. So it will tell like what's happening in the town not too far from us or whatever, and it will say like what's going on. I'm like, man, that's too close for home for comfort. So
yeah.
All right. So my first poem, I think you'll kind of guess what it's about. I am sick. I have been battling a cold for probably about a week and a half now. I'm starting to get better. Like, I barely had a voice like 3 days ago when I was coughing a lot. But hi, Gabriella. But it's starting to get better. I just have the sniffles still, but my throat's better and all that. But anyways, I'm not going to tell you what this poem is about. I'm hoping the imagery in the poem kind of explains it a bit. So, all right. So it goes, a diamond sharp old brick bridge at the tippity top of the ridge. The pointed rooftops, an image in my head that never stops. Brick by brick, height so very elevated, tilted glass not even one shard faded. Stones chunked off from decay, time now faded away. The fog so dense only a building can be seen, the view of a castle where inside lies the queen.
I like that. And you just wrote that today.
I just wrote that today.
I like that a lot. I like that. See, I was thinking of sending some of these. So what we do when we're not investigating, send it to Laura and have her put it in her magazine. Because I think I'm going to send her a couple.
Hi, B Squared.
B Squared. What?
Listening to this kitty chaos hour. Does he have kittens? Do you have kittens?
Kittens can be, but they're so darn cute.
I can't believe Aspen. He was a terrible cat.
Oh, he was bad. He was there. Yeah, before we get into my poem, she can tell you about little Brady Aspen when he was a baby.
Yeah, so Aspen, he was the trouble child, I guess you could say.
He was.
All the other kittens were crying and stuff, but they weren't trying to get out of their little enclosure. But Aspen, he would always find a way to get out of it. And we tried trying to trap it up so he wouldn't get out, but somehow he still managed to get out. And he looks at me like, Mom, what did I do? I didn't do anything.
Yeah, he was the escape artist, which I have a good story sometime in the future about a hamster that your dad brought. his name was Teddy, but I changed its name to Houdini because that hamster could get out of anything that he put him in. So, okay, let's see. How come King Pee-wee? How come King Pee-wee? I'm not sure what you mean. Pee-wee's around here somewhere, but he's a brat
Feral
too.
Mama Kitty left me 2 litters over the summer, 7 kittens, and a couple other randoms come around.
Wow.
That's a lot of cats.
Holy moly.
That would definitely be chaos.
That's an invasion. But still, I mean, the kittens, come on. You gotta love
Their
kittens.
little fluffy
Yeah,
faces.
kittens. Pee-wee, getting to King Pee-wee. King Pee-wee's been getting in trouble because he'll perch himself on as like, if I lay down and take a nap, he'll climb on me. And if I happen to move and he doesn't want me to move, he'll either bite me or he'll stick his claws in me and hiss. And I'm there like, well, Pee-wee, I gotta get up to go to the bathroom or I gotta move, don't be doing that. So
Yeah, it's weird. The animals lately have been like on some type of PSP or some PCP or something because they literally are like so aggressive and we don't know why. Especially the cats. I don't know what it is.
and
Like,
and Aspen was that cat. Oh, he was bad.
yeah, and he's been bad
Yeah.
lately, and he's getting in trouble now because that new TV stand that I got? He keeps going in that part of it with decorations on it, and I've yelled at him so many times, and he doesn't know how to listen. So I ended up smacking his butt yesterday, and he looks at me like, "Did you seriously just do that to me?"
See, Pee-wee's been bad, but we kind of have to watch him because Pee-wee had a bad life when he was born. He had a problem with his umbilical cord. Apparently, the mommy didn't chew the umbilical cord off right. It made his belly button and that protrude almost like it was a tumor or something. So he had to have an operation when he was young. So his belly's a little bit sensitive. But then about 2 years ago, in the same spot where we lost all of our animals down at the other house, he ended up going into a seizure and we thought we were going to lose him. So he's kind of had it rough. So we try not to, even though he can be a brat, we kind of watch. So
He likes to tease the dogs a lot.
That poem was really good, wasn't it? B squared.
Thank you,
and
B squared.
It's amazing that she thought of it that quick. So, and you're right. Sometimes you overthink.
Evil Fluffy, but the cat is just plain evil.
That's true. So, okay, mine's called Four Seasons, which I decided to pick tonight because of our crazy weather that we have. And you can literally in Pennsylvania go through 4 seasons in one day. So, the sounds of nature soothes my soul. The cool mist of the waterfall touches my senses. The babbling brook runs over my dangling feet. Mother Nature's creatures awaken and make music to my ears. Spring has arisen and I feel reborn. Excuse me. The illuminating light from the sun heats up Earth's land. Children laugh and shout loudly as the end of the school year is here. Splashing sounds and bouncing beach balls and pools can be heard all around us. Amusement parks open to greet its patrons with festive arms. Summer has begun, loaded with fun things to do. The cool air lightly nibbles at my skin. Woolly bears wear their weather forecasting colors as they crawl slowly along. The sound of crisp autumn leaves under my feet echo in my ears. Their bright colors paint as a beautiful scenic picture. The smell of fall permeates the air around us. Darkness begins to steal the light from the day as the days grow shorter. Autumn is here, and the year's ending is closer. The bitter and icy temperatures cut through our flesh. New blankets of virgin, glistening snow cover the land. A glorious, beautiful scene will take your breath away. Our festive and holy season is now upon us. A long year of special memories, and some disappointments too, is now coming to an end. A brand new year and a fresh beginning is just around the corner. A new year of renewed hope and promises that a better and more prosperous year may come. Winter is here. Another year has come and gone. So that was it.
Like it.
4 seasons. We love those buttons, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, Abs.
Yeah, let me get more comfortable here. So, trying to decide which one I want to read. All right, so this one, since she was talking
Well,
nice
thank
concept
you.
and
Thank you.
execution. This one is about how snow falls like stars, or how snow kind of is like stars in a way of how beautiful they are. That's what this poem's about. This
So
was
it's
another
beautiful.
one I wrote like
You
for
wrote
10
all of
minutes.
these today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They only took me like 10 minutes to put
Yeah.
together. All right. This one's called Snow Like the Stars. It goes, the delicate snowflakes fall perfectly like the stars. These stars, many miles from Mars. Every light beam reflects off a flake, anything but the word fake. As stars light up the sky, one single particle will make you cry. As the night is so bright, as the midnight fits with stars, the flakes gently hit the snow in the memory that is ours. Our hands held together in the cold winter night weather.
I like that. I like that. And it's so appropriate right now with,
Mhm.
because it's beautiful out. If you look out our
It
window right
literally
now.
looks like a Hallmark
Yeah.
movie.
And your dad said today, he says, why didn't we have that for Christmas? I said, I know. I said, I would have actually opened up all the curtains and just sat there staring because it's so beautiful.
Giving a last minute homework vibe.
That's what it sounds like. But you know what? Came up with some really good stuff.
Well, like I said, I had writer's block and I couldn't think of what to write. And my friend, she started giving me ideas, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try my best, and you tell me if you like them. And I sent them to her, and she goes, yeah, those are really good. You should read them tonight. And I said, okay.
Definitely. And like I said, I would submit to Laura because she would like this is what Abby does when she's not investigating with lurking spirits or over at the jail. And she likes that kind of stuff.
I really like writing too. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Okay, everybody knows about 9/11, of course. We try to forget it. After 9/11, we were all affected by the tragedy of that horrible day. It was a day that many of us remember with a deep pain in our heart. It's a day that we all wish never would have happened. I'm not going to read this whole little poem, but this poem I wrote, everybody got, and it was affecting each person in a different way, and it was devastating. It was sad. It was one of the worst moments, probably the worst moment.
No, Linda, it's snowing outside.
Yeah, it's
like Hallmark outside right now.
It's beautiful.
It literally looks like if you watch a Hallmark movie and you walk outside, that's what we're seeing right now outside.
It is absolutely gorgeous. So this poem here is called America's Prayer, and after the 9/11 tragedy, nightmare, I was thinking of our servicemen and women and just the pain and sorrow that our country went through. So our thoughts are with you in that faraway land, amidst the arid climate and desert sand. You were able to come home a short time ago. When you will be back again, we do not know. This is when they were serving over in Iraq, Desert Storm, and that before the whole 9/11 incident happened. Our country at war is what took you there. With all of its risks, you did not care. For preserving our freedom and our inalienable rights, humanitarianism and heroism through many long nights. You're the pride of our country and all of our eyes. Bravery and courage is of no big surprise. You left so suddenly, expecting the best. Your family back home would get no rest. The war is over, so we all thought, but the fighting continues, like it or not. Our reasons for being there are honorable for sure, but our families back home want you there no more. The president says June you'll be back unless we have another country to attack. Our hopes are high that the world will be at peace. With bin Laden and Hussein captured, terrorism will cease. Your arrival at home will be a relief to us all. Our prayers will be with you until that special call. And this is dedicated to all those who had to have their families away during the Iraq War. God bless you all. So that one was written during that real rough time that we all went through during the whole 9/11, pre 9/11 and 9/11 time.
Yeah, I was just a little baby.
Yeah. Yep.
I was just a little baby during that time.
Yep, Eric was in school. They closed everything down. News said we're under attack. Like, I remember everything about that day. Like, I was watching TV that morning and the plane hit the first tower and I yelled to your dad, I'm there. I hope this is not some kind of a bad, I mean, I hope this is a joke, but if it is, it's a really, really
Mhm.
sick and bad joke. But I said, there's a plane that just hit one of the towers in New York. And then lo and behold, not too long later, then the second
I'm
one
sure a
hit.
lot
And
of people when they
yeah,
first viewed that, they're
yeah.
like, "Man, this is a really sick joke." And then when it finally came that it wasn't a joke, which we've actually been to where the two towers are in New York City, and it's you walk there and you feel the sadness. Um, but it's one of those things, just like the Holocaust Museum and the other places, where when you walk in, you're very silent because there's just so much pain there that happened. The world changed that day.
It
Yes, it
sure
did.
did. It sure did.
Alrighty. So this next
I like how
poem,
you put the pictures with it too. That is so
yeah,
pretty.
that's my
That's
inspiration
that's
photo.
how you have to submit it
I'll
too.
show you the inspiration photo. I don't know if you can see it.
There it is.
There it is. That's my inspiration photo. Um, so this poem is about a wilting rose. Um, again, inspiration from one of my friends. But this is how it goes. It goes, life has been met, holding on to the stem yet. Dark red and wilted, the time has been tilted. A rose darkened with the loss of color, a stem ever so taller. Time is slipping away, in the wind it will sway. The beauty is there, the rose just needs a bit more care. Its life isn't complete, it refuses, with life's many bruises. It stands tall, refusing to let the last couple petals fall. It will live, it will thrive.
Hmm. I vision the rose that's inside of the little glass thing on Beauty and the Beast
Hmm.
as life is slipping away.
Because just because it's a dead flower doesn't mean it can't come back to life
Oh,
with a
I've
little bit of
had
care.
plants that were dead.
Now, if I'm taking care of it, it's gonna die. I
Yeah.
have no green thumb whatsoever. She does.
I had a poinsettia one time, but it was just a twig. It got that bad, and I nursed it back, and even before it should have bloomed, it bloomed beautiful
Poinsettias
poinsettia.
are
They
so
they're so
beautiful,
pretty. It was
but the
beautiful.
problem is you can't have any cats around because they're poisonous to cats, which is crazy because they're so beautiful. I want to go to those places one day. You mean the Twin Towers and the Holocaust Museum? It's really awesome to see, but it's one of those things that it's a bittersweetness. Like you
When you're
know what
standing
happened
by
there.
where those towers were, you get that you get overcome. It's overwhelming,
Mhm.
the sadness, and it's hard to explain because you stand there and it just, like, hits you.
Well, the thing is too is there's a plaque that's around it and it has all the names of all the fallen people. I think that's what makes it more emotional, because you not only have, all those souls that ended up dying, but you also have all the names that connected to those lost souls. So, yeah.
Yeah, you just get really overwhelmed with sadness. It's like it's a hard area to go and stand there knowing that there were 2 beautiful big towers there,
We
and
used to dry flowers and make flower wreaths years ago, reminding me of that. Ooh, flower wreaths.
that's what I wanna start getting into resin, because
Mhm.
you get the dried flowers and you put it in resin pieces and it looks beautiful. You can do that, then you can do etch some sayings in it. Really beautiful, so okay, my last poem is gonna be called "The Flag." I'm gonna stay on the little bit of a patriotic, thing here today. I was just sitting thinking about veterans and how they are willing to sacrifice themselves for us daily, and some of them actually have sacrificed themselves, gave it all for us, and,
My leg.
staring at the flag And everybody knows what the flag is supposed to represent. And I wish some people would learn what it was supposed to represent.
Mhm.
But, I'm sitting at the flag and I'm there like I came up with it. It's a real short poem. And here's my meaning of the red, white, and blue. And, I hope it means something. It's just simply called the flag. Red is the color of blood that I shed for you. White is the color of the peace and serenity I fought so hard to achieve for you. Blue is the color of the sadness that you represent when you fly at half mast for me. Red, white, and blue are the colors that I honored and respected enough to give my life for. God bless America. And that's that.
Beautiful.
So it was a short one, but it had a lot of meaning to me. I was there sitting one
My
day.
leg fell asleep.
Your leg fell asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to come up with like maybe next Thursday between Abby and I, maybe we can come up with like a ghostly, more paranormal type to fit in. I'm sure, especially you'll come up like that, and I'll have to think about it. So, yeah, I wanted it to be, I didn't want to go too lengthy on it and that, but I wanted it to hit you where it counts. And so, thank you. I appreciate that. We are getting on our 1 hour mark here soon. And is there anything that anybody wants to ask Abby or I, or suggestions? When you hear that clock go off like that, we have 7 minutes left because that's 7 minutes behind. And I got my clock working again.
Even though it's still a little bit behind, it's okay.
Well, is that clock right now? No, the time, yeah. I never changed it back when we did the time change. So when we turn our clocks ahead next month, it will be ready. But yeah, we'll get and try to. What about the jail as a? I actually did a Christmas one, or no, a Halloween one that I did right for the jail.
7 minute countdown.
Yeah, so if we hear that from now on, and we say we're going to be on for an hour, you hear that, you guys can go. Okay, we got 7 minutes here. I'll probably write another one about the jail. I can tie that in. Maybe a little ditty about Smitty.
Never put life hack.
How about a ditty about Smitty? Little Smitty ditty. About Smitty's ditty titties. Or in the Smitty ditty titty committee. We'll think of something. We'll come up with something good for next week.
Yeah, let's do our theme next week is haunted and paranormal and stuff. I'll see what I can come up with.
Yeah, I think I like that. I think we can come up. Well, I know you will. I'll try to come up with something. But anybody have any suggestions anytime? We have to kick you offline. Yeah, you can. Yeah. When you hear that 7, you start to count down, and when we get close, you're going to say, "Okay, ladies, your time is now up."
Yeah, Linda, we're going to have that as our theme next time, I think.
Yeah.
I just gotta figure out what I want to come up with, but we'll see.
Can we have that poem next time? Were you talking about the one about Smitty? Or the one that I wrote for Halloween? I'm confused.
I will say I did start, well, I'll say back in high school, I started writing about this haunted building that these people were moved into it was like a story that I started. I don't remember what chapter I ended up on, but I started it on WhatsApp. I mean, not WhatsApp, Wattpad. But I don't know.
We can even do that too. I mean, it's supposed to be poetry, but I started my supernatural book.
It better shiver my timbers next time for the spooky poems.
Oh, you need to join in then too if you want to shiver everybody's timbers with you and your theories. Well, you can shiver your timbers tomorrow. We go on with what information you found.
I'm trying to make sure that that doesn't make noise while I'm trying
I
to
can
read.
always go on, like I said, my supernatural book. I can go in with the preface on it and read even that part.
Let me see if I can find my story real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. We got less than 7 minutes.
I don't even remember how far I got on it. I just know that I was in high school and I think it was creative writing, and I was bored, and so I started writing.
I never heard of Wattpad.
It's literally a story maker.
Yeah, I can't wait, Gabriella, until you do your thing. Like Gabriella will be taking over again as the lead. Well, I'll do my little spiel that I start and she'll take over. And this one is another one where she did all the research because I figured I want her to start doing that because on
There it is.
on this channel, when I do my solo, then that's all the research that I found on my own. So, like I said, be prepared. Good Demons is coming up, maybe tonight.
So my story has 4 parts to it so far. But this is what the description is. It says, a family move into a farmhouse very beaten up. They have hopes, but things take a turn for the worse. And that's what I... Gabriella, you should read a thing that you wrote.
Yeah, why don't you read something real quick, Gabriella?
Or put it and we'll read it.
If you like this, please hit the button. Yes. Yes. Please hit the button.
Gabby's Gems.
Gabby's Gems. I'll tell you who's a good writer. Now he doesn't write poems yet, but Eric is a good writer. I think he wrote a horror book. Wow. It's funny because that name that you have in there is the name of the one doll Gabriella's going to be doing.
Which one? Ruby?
Mm.
Yeah, Ruby is the little girl in the story.
Very cool. So, yeah, so when I do my show on Good Demons, I might do it tonight, like go on about an hour from now, pre-record it, and I'll put it out immediately so you'd be able to watch it tonight or tomorrow morning, unless I decide to wait till tomorrow morning. But
that was back in 2018.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was a long time
ago. You should continue on it because sometimes when you wait like that and you reread what you wrote, then you start getting all those new ideas. And that's what I did on my supernatural book. I went back and reread what I started writing them. They're like, I remember. And then I just click.
Yeah, the first page is called The Path to Hell.
Wow. Do you want to read your first page? We got a couple minutes.
I can. It's weird though, because it says my very first one is The Path to Hell, right? But it says that these ones were done in 2016. So how is that the first one? But it is. It's weird. Then I'll read a little bit of my story. What does Deborah say? I don't have any poems. I used to write them, but mostly write stories now when I have time. Well, you can still share a story then.
Yeah, you could share. And guys, anybody that comes on here, even if you're like lurking on here but not showing yourself in the comments, if there's something you want to submit or some, a suggestion or comment, as long as you're not being insulting to us, if there's a comment or a suggestion, anything, put it on there. Like we'll do our best to follow what you say and take your advice, whatever. So
yeah, I mean, and it doesn't have to be poetry. It can be little stories. It can be what is it? Like thoughts.
How, like I did the other night, haikus, like little ditties, anything like.
That's just excuses, Gabriella. That's just excuses.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody has excuses.
We'll be squared. Find your writing. Share with us. Guys, share. We don't want this. I mean, the poetry hour is not about us. It's about everybody. I mean, because pretty soon, like I have this book, but there's only X amount of poems on there. So we run out. We're either going to have to um, wing it and do something on the spur of the moment, or we're going to have to rely on you
All right,
guys.
I'm going to read my first page. I know it's already 9 o'clock, but I'll read my first page.
This is supposed to be a friendly place to talk. Yes, we want it to be very friendly for anybody and very welcoming to everybody.
So my story is called Horror House. And
Horror
the
House?
first horror. And the first page is called The Path to Hell. So it goes, a family is on their way to their new house. Kids, you are going to love this house, Tracy says. None of the kids are very happy about moving to the suburbs. Do we go this way? Jim says. Yes, honey, it says that you have to drive up the path, says Tracy. The car drives up the rocky path, being so bumpy, Jaden, one of the kids, loses his glasses. Ruby, being the smallest, holds onto her teddy bear, feeling scared. Ruby, are you okay? Jaden says, seeing his sister grab onto her teddy bear. Ruby looks at her brother, nods her head, indicating no, and holds onto her teddy bear. Dad, I think something's wrong with Ruby, Jaden says, concerned about his sister. Jim pulls over, making sure his daughter is okay. Ruby, are you okay, sweetheart? Jim says. Ruby does not reply. Princess, please speak to me, says Jim with concern in his eyes. Finally, Ruby replies, it's not safe here.
Ooh, snap, crackle, and pop on that one. Oh, when a kid tells you that, you better start taking it into, because they sense things.
And a little spoiler, he doesn't listen to his. He doesn't listen to her. Thank you, B Squared.
Yeah, that was really good. I enjoyed that. So we can do different things like that too. I mean, even though we call this poetry hours, you notice our first half hour, we just wanted to chit chat, which will probably what we'll do every week.
Mm-hmm.
Just, for anybody that's lurking on or anybody that's on and that wants to make comments. And then it can go beyond poetry. It can go on pages from some of what we wrote.
Yeah, I think I'll actually get back into that because I like how that is. I don't remember. It's been so long since I wrote that. So
I know I had my supernatural book is based on personal experiences. So, and it all started with some stuff my dad told me when he was a child. So, and his one good friend was a mortician. He ran the local mortuary. So
what funny? What are you talking about, Gabriella?
Gabriella is funny and goofy and strange.
Strange and unusual.
And unusual. That's probably why she sees and feels ghosts. Lydia. And Ruby had a doll.
She had a teddy bear. She is a teddy bear. She is very. It's like her safety blanket, but it's a teddy bear.
So next week is supernatural. Yes, we promise you we will do everything with the haunted theme.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll even read another page in my book.
There you go. So that'll stay with the haunted theme.
Yeah, it will.
Yep, it will stay definitely there. So and any of you guys, Abby, you can thank her. She's been putting out little snippets and little shorts and that on our Lurking Spirits channel.
Be prepared tomorrow at 8 a.m. Santa's coming to town. No, the new video is going to be released. I just wanted to do a sneak peek so people could see what they're in for tomorrow.
Now, we were there for
4 hours. Well, almost 5.
Was it 5? I thought
it was 6. Almost 5. Because it was from 9 to 12.
No, we started at 8:30, and I think it was after 12 when we left.
Yeah, but we were talking, we were chit-chatting for a while.
But anyhow, so
Deborah put Santa!
It's going to be in parts because the only editing that she's doing is like what she's going to use for bloopers, like stuff that where there was little mishaps or something. But Abby's a very good editor. Her little snippets that she's been putting out are amazing. So kind of when you go on Lurking Spirits, please like and subscribe. She's been putting some really good little, and the one she put out today was a little teaser snippet for tomorrow. So if you want to catch that, we did go. We're at an hour and 5 minutes, so we're 5 minutes
you
over.
tempt us.
No, wow, you know what? Wait till I tempted her a lot when I told her about good demons.
There might be a little secret to the teddy.
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun.
There might be a little secret to the teddy.
So there you go. You guys got cliffhangers. You got the cliffhanger for that. You got the cliffhanger for the Lurking Spirits.
I honestly think teddies can be haunted. I think anything, honestly, that's a big physical object.
Gabriella. Haunted. Keep that in mind, Gabriella.
Yeah, quit getting what are they called? What are they called?
Haunted jewelry.
The things Gabrielle likes all the time.
Trinkets?
Squishmallows.
Oh, yeah.
Quit getting squishmallows. Yeah. You never know. They might be haunted.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Like, did you know that Dylan scared the shit out of us the other night? I told everybody to watch over there by that window. Mm-hmm. Well, not by the window, by the door. And we're sitting there. We just got done talking about next, I said, so if somebody sees a shadow or something, because we know there's shadows in here, and we see eyes coming, glasses, and here Dylan's coming, and we're like...
It makes it funny too, because when people wear glasses and when there's a light that reflects off it, it looks like they have like big white eyes.
Yeah, so... But,
you know what? Not my squishmallows.
Hey, you might have some haunted ones.
Remember, we're playing games tonight, so you better be ready.
Uh-oh.
Or I'll fight you.
Sister threats.
I'll fight you.
So, okay, guys, we are past our time. We enjoyed having you on here. Just keep on thinking of anything that you want us to talk about. We will hit the paranormal next week.
Also, if you guys have suggestions on mine, I guess our poetry hour thing that's on Facebook, you can put suggestions in there, or if you guys have any anything you want to say in there, you can put in there as well, and we will come to it when we have our next stream.
we definitely like suggestions, comments, critique. We're open for critique. We have no problem with that.
Yeah, if you say I talk too much, just
well, they know I do. And then I'll be talking again when I do my little thing here coming up. But with that being said, you guys are awesome as always. The same faithful people show up all the time. We have the best moderators. We really do. Like, other people brag about theirs. No, I'm going to brag about ours because they are good. So with that being said, we're going to say, we'll meet you next week on Thursday sharp at 8:00 on the other side. Dun, dun, dun. There you go.
We'll see you guys.
We'll do a double one.
How you did it?
Love and peace. There you go. Bye, all. Love you.